So I decided to do a series on chivalry because man, I keep hearing all this extra shit, especially these extra situations about chivalry, and I think I'm gonna do a series. So I just for starters, if it's any topics on chivalry that y'all want me to cover or opinion on or whatever, go ahead, drop it in the box, and I'll get back at y'all, whatever, and pop up a next video, whatever. But one thing interesting that I find about chivalry, of course, well, I'm not the only one. It seems like chivalry is only used when it benefits females, but the whole concept of cross the board of chivalry never, it never works to benefit the men. It's always men doing something for women, you know. But basically, even a concept of where chivalry came from, like, okay, think about, for instance, like this video is gonna be about paying for dates. Like, how do people feel about paying for dates? Like, I don't, like me personally, like I don't pay for dates if it's a chick that I don't know. Like if I don't know you or whatever, like I don't know you on some basic level, and I'm talking about more basic than what your name is and what you look like. Like basically, like if we had conversations and on the phone, I know a little bit more about you. We feel like we cool, then yeah, I have no problem paying for the date. You know, once. And I'm saying that because when two people go out on a date, especially a first date, the only thing that they should really owe each other is a good time. That means that he should have his own money, she should have her own money, and they both should just pay their own way, and that way they can just enjoy each other's company. And if it don't work out, they can leave separately, or they can just finish the date out, say, okay, well, I had a good time, maybe I'll call you, maybe I won't, y'all get the point, right? But the whole concept of paying for dates in the first place was because back when in the days of courting, the men had the money, and the women had the dowry, which came from her father. So basically, the money that the women got came from her father. See what I'm saying? So women didn't have all money all like that. So of course men had to pay because they had the money. Now the whole situation's changed, and now that women have money, and in a lot of cases, actually in a lot of professions, a lot of professions that are becoming dominated by women, like, and specifically white collar professions, are making more than, well, some of these blue collar professional guys that really aren't up there. Okay, let's take a blue collar professional, and I'm not talking about a plumber because they make a lot of money. Okay, let's take like let's take like a low budget carpenter. He might make like 35. And you have a woman project manager, she making 75, 80. That's the case I'm making. But anyway, these females are getting their own money. So now, they can afford to pay their own way. So I don't feel like they should get a pass because all of that has changed. You know what I mean? It's like the old ways have changed. The only way that I can see that being okay is if females go back to the old ways of doing things. Then chivalry makes more sense, because chivalry doesn't make sense in this world of feminism, because then of course entitlement comes, and it went from, you're being such a gentleman by doing this, it went from that to, you're not a man unless you do this. So it's kind of like it went from, chivalry and the bar that you were expected to reach to that bar becoming the bottom line and bare minimum. And if you get below that, then you're not anything. And dudes are basically saying, what do I benefit from this? Hey, some dudes actually start doing the financial calculations. Just like the other video I put out was called Paying for Pussy. I was saying about how dudes, regardless of what you do, you're gonna have to pay something. You know, even if you just invest, like even if you just don't invest money, the time you investing in and getting to know this person and putting in work so you can eventually be able to smash like that. That time is more costly than the money that went along with it. But point is, dudes do all this extra shit just to try and get to the booty, and the whole thing about the dates part is that females actually feel entitled to it because of the old ways, even though they're not doing things the old way. So this is how they can actually say, oh, you're not a real man unless you pay for dates, unless you open doors. It's almost like, like they constantly keep throwing more and more things out there. Basically, like they basically, it's almost like dangling the carrot in front of you and shit, right? You got to do more and more things, get closer and closer to a goal that you'll never reach because there's always something else. It's almost like they keep on raising the bar. Well, not raising the bar, but they just keep on coming up with more and more stipulations. So it's like, in this world, chivalry doesn't fit. Now wait a minute. Not in the world of strangers. Chivalry doesn't fit. Because you'll get stamped on, you'll get dogged out. But in the situation where it's a relationship, then you can be chivalrous. But the best part, see, here's the thing, ladies. Here's the thing that makes men want to be chivalrous is because the women are reciprocal. The women, they return the favors in similar fashion, or they do some, or they basically return favors of equal benefit or value. And that makes it all the more worthwhile. I think females have stopped doing that because of the whole entitlement thing. It's like, it's just no longer like, okay, he did this for me, let me do something special for him. All of a sudden now it's like, no, that's what he was supposed to do. So I don't feel obligated to do anything. And because that's what he's supposed to do, and I'm accustomed to getting it, I don't feel like it's anything special. So I don't feel like doing anything special. Like it's crazy when you think about it. But yeah, the whole paying for dates thing, I don't do the paying for dates thing. Well, hell, hey, some people be like, well, mate, maybe if she ain't got the money to pay, you should pay her way in. Well, if she don't have the money to pay for her own good time, then why would you be trying to date her? Well, I don't need to be saying that. Anyway, that's it for me, Long Locks 82. Again, if y'all got any ideas, go ahead and drop them in the box. Y'all be easy.